Hi, Libra. Well, welcome. My name is Tiffany. This is the Feminine Inquisition. Thank you so much for being here. We're doing your reading for the month of June, which is now, as we are recording this, and when you will get it, is Gemini season. However, also in the month of June is Cancer season. And this has to do with how the spread is set up for today. So Gemini offers us, all of us, the wisdom of contradiction of two truths. So they can hold separate ideas, most time contradictory ideas at the same time, and be able to walk that middle line. And we can learn a lot from them. So we will look at what those two truths are. But because Cancer is also within the month of June, we will take a closer look at what these mean for you, for your highest evolution. If they're personal truths, right? They may not be, but they could definitely touch on personal ideals. So this is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Any placements for any Librans that you are checking up on, you are more than welcome to. If it resonates, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what works for you. If it doesn't, just check your other placements. Don't take the energy for you if it's not. It is a collective reading. Let's get into it. So for Libra, let's go. Show me two truths for the month of June for Libra. One more shuffle. Thank you. What is it that we need to... You want to come out? Four of Pentacles. We'll see if it arrives again. The new mat, you know. So we'll flip them. Show me the first truth. All right. Page of Cups. What else? First collective to give me more than I asked for. Let me just turn this down a tiny bit. Okay. So on the one hand, we have the Page of Cups. This is a starting initiation, entry level. This is the very beginning of an emotional experience. Okay. He doesn't know a lot. He also can't really give a lot. He doesn't know himself that well. Okay. It could be about being clumsy. It could be forgiveness. It could be forgiving someone else for being clumsy. It could be a communication, a message arrives. But the idea here is that whatever it is, it's full of life, and it's full of love, and it's honest, and it's sincere. And yeah, I have no reason to suspect that it doesn't make you feel good. The underlying for both of these is the Knight of Pentacles. This is the long-term vision. You have high hopes, even if you're not very enthusiastic, as the Knight of Pentacles certainly is not going to be the loudest person at the party. But it is staying the course, you know. It has its eyes set on the prize. On this side, we have a bit more emotion, a ton of more desire, and we also have divine timing and clarity and truth and vision and perspective. It's all about piercing the veil and seeing the thing for it really is, and saying the thing as you really want to say it. And yeah, I don't know. I feel as though there's this huge desire that you feel like time is of the essence and it's going to cut through the bullshit. So this is a very, like a much more demonstrative effort, a much more invoking all aspects of the self. And it's an outward energy. I have a cat that needs a window open. Lucky me. So it's a fire energy, so it's spiraling outwards. And we know that it's going to create some sort of ripple, because this night is always going to be creating chaos, change, bringing desire, passion. It's going to burn whatever it touches, that's for sure. Okay, let's see something. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Lovers, Judgment. Oof, wow, a lot of majors under this. This is a very, very huge manifestation energy that has to do with a collective or consolidation of your energy. There's definitely, like I said, high hopes. You want to take flight and arrive at your destination like that. And you want all of you to be present and everyone that you know to be present so that they can congratulate you. So on the one hand, I understand a little bit more. It's a huge undertaking that you have to embark on, and you're using passion to get you there. You really want to be. This feels like work. You want this to be. You are using fire and confidence from another element. It's not your own. Okay, so you're trying on the confidence of some other entities, some other idea. You are really putting your best foot forward, knowing that the confidence is key in this situation. And I think you're right. So it's very interesting to see the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. It's like the Queen of Wands is so intense, but coupled with the Knight of Pentacles, it's almost like if we put these two together in one, then we would get Libran energy. If somehow we reduced it. But this is fire, of course, cardinal fire, Aries, Leo, or Sag. I mostly see it as Aries and Sagittarius, not necessarily Leo. I think Leo is too fixed for Queen of Wands. But the Knight of Pentacles is typically Virgo. So Virgo and Sagittarius have very little in common. But they do have Libra between them. And so that's working, right? And so maybe this is if you don't open a window, then the cats fight or play, So maybe this is, as a combination, then this Page of Cups is representing the current position that you are in this initiation of doing something in a different way for the very first time. And it's new and it's exciting, and you know that it's working, and you know that it will work, and you are amped up to do it. But it's new, so it's also scary. And you may go slow because you don't know, because you're doing something that you've never done before. You have no idea what the consequences or what the impact is going to be. So yeah. Okay. And then this is all about your stability. This is all about if you are traveling, what that would look like. If you are starting an entrepreneurial endeavor, what that would look like. If this has to do with working with another person, if this has to do with creating a business that in some sense has a role where you call judgment on things, like a reviewer, a manager, someone who oversees, so that nothing can fall in the cracks, right? And I think that so much of these decisions that you are making as you go through this, they're teaching you. They're teaching you a lot about how to keep your emotions in check and to not jump ahead, and also to have emotional intelligence for the management of other people, because everyone has their highs and their lows. Okay. All right. So you are having, I think this didn't start this month, Libra, but it is still an ongoing transformation. I do think it has to do with the workplace, but I don't know. I'm going to get into it now with the Before Tarot and see if my intuitions and suspicions so far are correct. The Emperor is going to go right back in. Hello. Can I see what are the specifics here? Specifics, please. You would be the first one, I think, to show me just work-based stuff. One more. For Libra, for June. Thank you. Okay. Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Queen of Wands, King of Wands, the High Priestess, the Magician at the bottom deck. Wow. Okay. Some really heavy hitters in your reading in terms of major arcana. There's a lot of energy that's coming at you, and then a lot of head of state. So you're doing a really great job at staying on top of it, which is awesome. So look, we've got a divine counterpart here. Communication. We also have independence, strong levels of comfort, confidence. You might have Venus in Virgo. But Virgo is your next door neighbor sign, so some of your planets could be there. That's the association for this card. What can I say? This looks like you have the resources and the great ideas to be able to take a journey, take a trip, deliver some sort of communication to your divine counterpart, come into union. This is super beautiful. Working together, creating balance, harmony on the day-to-day, the exchange, the Ace of Cups, and then the Page of Cups. Okay, I think I understand now. So this could be a conversation about children. So I don't know if I'm talking to a Libra who's in a connection, but if I am talking to someone who is already in union with someone, living together, not living together, but just dating on something that is more than casual, there is a chance that there is an appropriate divine timing for options with children, options that are bioavailable. The fish falls into the cup. The day-to-day is going strong. The balance is perfect. The harmony of the love is beautiful. And yeah, your cup can overflow. You're very fertile in the sense that you're in complete alignment. And you have the resources, so there is no fear interrupting this in any capacity. And this is a huge choice about options, right? Because so many things, there's so many moving parts, so many things change. Yeah. There's again another childlike energy. Okay. Let's see what this communication is. Right, because the Eight of Wands, it happens fast. Mercury in Sagittarius. And we know the Knight is there. So, can I see the Eight of Wands, please? For Libra, can I see the Eight of Wands? Thank you. The King of Swords, another huge decision. The Five of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Temperance. Well, there's a lot of time there. A lot of time. Time spent deliberating this, time spent going back and forth, time spent imagining how many different scenarios can come about from it, time spent cutting out bullshit. If you have been having this conversation with someone else. Let's see. Page of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Wands. Now, this is about the solo energy, trying to learn how to change this resistance to it. Chariot, Tower, holy fuck, to the Ten of Wands. Again, a time card. There's a foundational concept that you're trying to move towards. Now, this Chariot, because it showed up before, you want to move towards, with the Five of Wands, you want to move towards it, towards this tower, to change this foundation, because there is a resistance inherent. And because I've got the Nine of Pentacles here, I'm going to say that this is you, this is how you're showing up, or it could be someone else. You've shown me the Queen of Wands. No. Okay, the Pentacles is someone else. Let's learn. There's the Sun again. Maybe there's a breakthrough in communication. Maybe something is said. Who's the Page of Pentacles? Who is the Page of Pentacles? Queen of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Judgment. Strength. Someone that's very content as is. They don't want to make any change. They don't want to make any changes. They don't want to make any changes for whatever that is. Full of love, full of stability. Want to make this exchange. Want to continue making this exchange. Not interested in whatever the offer is. Ten of Swords. It's shown up in every reading. This is not in the usual sense as I've been seeing it, as the set of, like, normally it's been showing up as like the end of a paradigm, a kind of thinking, whatever it is that you just can't see a way through. And the scripts that run and the way that we continue to trigger people so that they can go ahead and give us precisely what we don't want from them. And in that sense, it's a self-betrayal more than it is a betrayal by someone else. And so we have to find another way to think. That's why it's completion. That's why it's the Ten of Swords. We must find the in-between. So I was telling you that this reading is the wisdom of contradiction. So Gemini is holding what is the complete understanding and has to find that middle way. And that is the new way. Okay, so there you are again as Queen of Wands. There you are again fighting for justice, but there's a Knight of Swords there. Now, I thought you were up against Pentacles, but as it turns out, Pentacles and Swords are working together. Let's see what I can get on the Knight of Swords. So this could have to do with the work contract, but it has to do with the choice. Someone is yay, others are nay. The Knight, Judgment again. That's not supposed to be like that. Two of Wands. Oh, it's the first time I'm seeing that card. Queen of Swords. The Chariot. Wow. There's the Cup. So, the Judgment is a huge deal breaker here. You've got your idea of judgment. They've got their ideas of judgment. I say they because I feel like it's many people. I don't feel like it's one person. Can I see the judgment for the Swords and Pentacles, please? What is the judgment for the Swords and Pentacles? Introspection, Page of Pentacles. the silence, which is the star. One more. 8 of Cups. Let it go. They would like for you to remember the dream, remember the vision, and let it go. That's what they said. Remember the dream. Why do you want to ruin the dream? They said have a think on it. Sit and have a think on it. Okay, one shuffle for you. What's your judgment? Can I see Libra's judgment, please? Eight of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Hanged Man. You spent too much time on the outside. You've spent too much time trying to communicate what you... This is 8 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Hanged Man. This is huge communication in the Wands, as you've shown me. You've been trying to get through a locked door. You've been trying to basically talk to someone who refuses to listen. When you talk to a wall, is that that's the expression? I'm talking to a wall, beating a dead horse. And you've done this for a really long time. You've done it in every possible way. You've been swinging, showing off all your creative intelligence. How many different ways can I bring this conversation up? How many different ways can I ask for this thing? How many different presentations can I put together? How many times can I share the file? I still have a sense that this is a formal thing that has to do with work. And then it ends with this new vision, the Hanged Man. You're still in a standstill because you're waiting for someone to be able to open up their eyes. Part of this is immaturity, a lessons in maturity. This is the 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Part of this is the growth. The 8 of Wands is the same card. The growth for you to balance your feminine and masculine. Perhaps this is not really about a counterpart at all. Excuse me. It's about you finding your confidence so that you are embodying feminine and masculine in the workplace, and you're up against people who are stingy, who don't want to spend money. You're against people who are small-minded. You're against people who resist change just for the sake of resisting change. You are up against people who are maybe offering passive aggressive behavior in the workplace, and using words in a threatening way about contracts. And then of course there's the fact that you still need to go into work and do your job. So I think that so much of this is using judgment, which is why we've seen that card so many times, to not drink this water, to not let this cup go home with you. But the attitudes for you and what you're up against are dramatically different, and you're still in a standstill. So that is why we have this here. So let's just clean this up a little bit. Let's put all this back in, and let's take a look at where this is going. Okay. So much time. Wow. Because, oh man, the cats are just creating chaos in the other room. We have a sense of the Page of Cups and the Page of Cups and the 7 of Cups. But the 7 of Cups is offered clarity. He's not confused. His desire, Wands, fire, grants him clarity. Page of Cups is just inexperience, but he doesn't lack desire, he doesn't lack ambition, he doesn't lack hope. Where this is going. Okay. So you see all the similar cards came out again, right? Something is going to come to an end or change. And I think it has to do with how a strength is used. Leo is on the table 2 times. I think it has to do with whether or not you can see eye to eye, particularly as it relates to this King of Wands. I don't know what that is. 7 of Pentacles 2 times. This is discernment. This is like a lower version of the Judgment card, if you will. Four of Swords and Strength. You can see the difference, right? Like putting it to bed, it has no application. Let me just rest. Let me just recover. Let me have a think on it. Oh, I'm still having a think on it. Okay, let me stop. Okay, I'll just stop and have a think on it. Okay, maybe I'll get back to it. Okay, I'll get back to it. I'm still having a think on it. And this is like how strength is, how one could tell themselves that they are using their strength, being strong, being logical. But there's no wonder, there's no curiosity, there's no desire in either of these. This is about healing from the Three of Swords, which had a high level of expectation, and this is risk assessment. He sleeps on the Ace of Swords. So then if it's the Knight of Wands, is this part of this thing where passion has been put aside? What is dying? Defensiveness. Oh, okay. A death to defensiveness against changing. 9 of Cups to the Lovers. Again, we have the Lovers on the table. Are you in the position where you and your mate, whomever it is, female or male, are trying to assess whether or not this relationship changes location? Could that be it? Because with the Tower, and however many times we've seen the Eight of Wands, the Judgment, and the Chariot, you could be moving. And yeah, I could see why one would go back and forth on that. It's a crazy time to move home. And moving is super stressful. It's one of the most stressful things you can do in your life. Where this is going. Home. Knight of Wands. Knight of Swords. 7 of Pentacles. God. At least you made a choice. Can you tell that I can't stand the 7 of Pentacles? It's my least favorite card in the deck. It's such a weird card to feel passionately or strongly about, because that's like the antithesis of the card, but that's why I dislike it so much. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, look, there it is. There is an opportunity, and I do think it has to do with home. Now, I'm not going to say that, no. I think it has to do with making a huge change. I think this reading is a little interesting in the sense that you're battling many fronts, but it's all in a very, like, a perfect way. I think that the job might bring you to consistently, continuously push your ideas forward, and it's not getting you where you'd like it to be, and you might leave the job. Furthermore, for some other people, the job may take you into a place where you have to move, you have to travel, and that is cumbersome and burdensome for the relationship. But in the end, there's a lot of, let's just put a pin in that between you and your lover. I'm speaking as between you and whomever it is that you're with. Let's put a pin on that, because you're going to go focus on this and I'm going to go focus on that. And so you're changing the nature of your relationship because your confidence is building, because you're using fire in the workplace. So it's changing the dynamic of your relationship, and you're having to have very big conversations. Another way I can read this reading is that if you're in a partnership and you're feeling very connected and you're of the age where you can have children and or want to raise a family, even if it's adopted, there could be conversations about what it looks like to expand the family. Okay? So with these two decks here, as you can see, the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, there's a lot of decisions. We've seen Judgment more than any other card, which is Pluto, which is transformation. We do have Death on the table. So you are transforming, learning, being undergoing lessons of each of these experiences. But I do think that this Tower is not some sort of dramatic thing that's happening. I think that your foundation is changing because you're using fire, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's something that you intended to do, and I think that you feel the benefits of it every single day. You're getting stronger. So right, should we get advice? Seeing as it was like, oh, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. All right. Advice for Libra for the month of June. Advice for Libra for the month of June. Advice. Page of Swords. Look and listen. Learn about the stress of the mind. Why? Page of Wands. Magician. King of Cups, the Emperor, Seven of Cups. Okay, so the only way to stay focused on using fire, right, for where it is that you're going, for what it is that you're creating, for how these aces show up, for example, is to make sure that you do not become highly reactive, because remember, you're up against swords and pentacles. Observe what they say, what they do. Recognize that the things that come at you in these emails, in these contracts, if it's in the workplace, and then inevitably in the home, just know that these swords cannot touch you. They cannot harm you. So, do one of these kinds of exercises, like halt or 5 breaths before you respond. Whatever it is that you can to use fire to continuously transform this experience. Because I do think that harmony is on the agenda, and I think that you know that. You haven't said it so much, but because of the delays, because of your deliberate ways that you keep using judgment, I think that you're really working towards something. You have a long-term vision, and if anyone hasn't told you, I think you're doing a great job. I think it was smart of you to employ fire. Where that shall get you. 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Probably some good places. 10 of Swords. What is the limit? Page of Wands. Yeah, look, maybe what you are on the timeline is that while everyone else is experiencing the very rough end of it, here in Gemini season, you might be ahead. I'm speaking to a Libra collective that already went through what is the limits of their mind, and you're now in this way where you've made it to the ace, and you understand that if you're going to move past to where you want to go, you have to use fire, because that's where you're going to end up every single time if you don't become the Page of Wands. Yeah. Page of Wands. Discovery. And again, this could relate to travel as well. So, I know I maybe a lot of information, a little bit all over the place. But I do hope that something resonated here. I do hope that it was helpful or at least amusing. If anything, just take what works for you, leave the rest, leave a comment, thumbs up, and until the next time I see you, Libra, ciao.